Welcome to IELTS Energy TV. On today's episode, Jessica and I answer a student's question about how to avoid writing too many words on your IELTS Task 1 and Task 2 essays. We provide a step-by-step process that can make sure that you know exactly how much to write so that you are ready for test day.
Hey, Aubrey, what's going on?
Not too much. How are you doing, Jessica? It's getting cold there, right? You have a
It's
sweater.
freezing.
A nice sweater.
Guys, okay, so this is one of the ones that we're putting on, I almost said Facebook, on YouTube, guys. We are absolutely loving making videos at the same time we're recording this podcast. So you can see us have these conversations on our YouTube channel, guys, IELTS Energy TV. You can see what our houses look like. But anyway, before we recorded, I had to take off like
so many layers
of sweaters because I'm too cheap to turn on the heater.
It's so expensive. Heating bills. Yes. We were just talking about how I'm like, I just delay turning on the heat. So I'm the same. I'm like, throw on a sweater, grab a blanket. We're not turning on the heat yet.
I'll show you my blanket. I have this my Christmas blanket. James got me last year.
Awesome.
I know, but I use it all year round because I love Christmas. Today, guys, we are going to give you very simple step-by-step directions so you stop writing too much. Because guys, you know this is an issue. You know this is a problem. We'll tell you why it's a problem besides just taking too much time, because that's the number one reason why you shouldn't write too much. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. First of all, Aubrey, I saved this news to tell you while we're recording, but I'm not sure if you know yet. So I just talked to Lindsay this morning, and the All Ears English podcast has just surpassed 200 million downloads.
Oh my, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Wow, it's so jumping up fast too. That's exciting.
It's good. It's crazy awesome. So guys, if you're not listening to All Ears English, you should be. We can tell from those numbers that it's really good. Okay, so let's get into this. Aubrey, you came up with this idea today because you saw a question in the progress survey. Before you read the question, let me ask you, what's a progress survey?
That is a very good question. So guys, when you join our 3 Keys IELTS study program, we have at the end of every module a progress survey where you share with us how it's going. You know, are the strategies working? How are things going? And you can ask us any questions. And this student posted a question in her progress survey, which was a very good question. I immediately said, oh, this will be a really good podcast, because I'm sure a lot of other students have the same question. Yeah. So this is what she asked. She said, I've been writing over 200 words for task 1. I'm not sure how bad it might be for me. It's kind of hard to put all the details I brainstorm in less than 200 words. For the task 2 essays, I've been writing over 300 words. As I am aware that I'm not supposed to do that, I've been trying hard to write less. My last task 2 essay practice, I only wrote 290-ish words. So I know that this is something students struggle with a lot, because often we'll have, when students send us essays to correct, they'll be too long. And sometimes we even have to send them back and say, you have to edit this down. There's no way you could write that much on test day in the time you have.
Exactly. Guys, what is your priority, right? Your priority is to finish this essay in 40 minutes for task 2, 20 minutes for task 1, right? I think a lot of people they have their priorities in the wrong order, right? It's like, no, I need to be like so impressive and I need to include all these ideas and like blah, blah, blah. Okay, like that's all good and fine. But if you don't finish your essay in 40 minutes, all that stuff isn't going to matter anyway, right? Like your priority, guys, like think about what you're scored on. First of all, finish your essay. You need 4 complete paragraphs. You need complete ideas in each paragraph. So like that's your priority. Okay. Here's the first thing that jumps out at me from this question is that she said she can't put all of her ideas in the essay, right? So that means she's brainstorming too much, because she says she can't put all of those brainstormed ideas in an essay. So this is like one of the first tips we give you in 3 Keys IELTS, guys. Only brainstorm enough for each paragraph, for each body paragraph. That's it. You don't need any more. So if you're getting like bad advice from somebody who's not an IELTS teacher, they're going to say, write down all the ideas you think of in a brainstorm, because that's usually what we do in a brainstorm, but not for IELTS.
Not when it's timed. You don't have time to write down. You could think of ideas for hours, but you have a very finite amount of minutes. You have 5 minutes for the entire brainstorm, and you have to limit yourself to that because you need the rest of the time to write and then have time to proofread or check your essay. So yeah, you have to think about what you exactly need according to that topic. If you only need one reason for each paragraph, and then supporting details and examples, that's all you want to write. That's all you want to brainstorm. Don't think, oh, but maybe I'll come up with a better reason if I keep thinking. No, you've got a reason, go with it.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Because like coming up with original complex ideas, also not what you're graded on.
Right, exactly.
So don't spend time on that. So Aubrey, how many words should we have in our essay? So this student, obviously in 3 Keys IELTS, right? She is not studying alone. That's why we have these progress checks. So she can ask us questions and we can answer them because we know studying online can feel lonely sometimes. So that's why we create a supported community in 3 Keys IELTS, guys. But she's already a student. She knows that she shouldn't have more than 200 words in task 1 and no more than 300 in task 2. So what is the ideal goal?
Right. For task 1, aim for 180, right? 150 is perfect, but if you get 180, you've got that nice cushion. So 180 is the perfect amount of words for task 1. And you really won't have time to go over that if you're also spending the time you need to make sure you do have those good linking words and that high level vocabulary, because there's a lot to think about. You're not just going to be able to free write the whole time.
Yeah, exactly, guys. If you don't plan and just free write and just like have this hippie vibe, the stream of consciousness journal type thing, guys, like, no, that's not going to work. Your ideas can be simple, but they have to be organized. So like Aubrey said, we need to spend the time on thinking of transition phrases, thinking of how are we going to introduce this paragraph, right? What kind of vocabulary can I use to paraphrase? Like that's what we need to spend our time on, right? So yeah, no more than 180 for task 1, no more than 280 for task 2. And so for task 1, she's obviously a general training student. So guys, it's the same advice for brainstorming, right? Only brainstorm enough for each paragraph, which means 2 details per bullet point. Okay. Because you have to obviously like answer all the bullet points in your letter. Okay. So how can we make sure we're not writing too much? So, I mean, the first step is timing yourself, but that doesn't work. I mean, she probably is timing herself. So what's another method we could use to encourage ourselves to write less?
So you need to have a really good idea of what 180 words looks like for task 1 and what 280 words looks like for task 2. How many lines is that? So that you don't have to count words. You don't want to spend time counting words. You want to have practiced and have a really good feel for how long that is. So you should write a model for yourself so that you know exactly what it looks like. You have a frame of reference, right?
Totally. Yeah, guys, I mean, it's the same advice for like speaking part 2. Like guys, you have to be aware of what this test feels like, what it looks like well before test day, right? So for speaking part 2, you want to know what 2 minutes feels like. So you need to practice that a lot, or else you're going to rock up on test day, talk for a minute, and then stop and be like, how is that not 2 minutes? Because 2 minutes
so long.
Yeah.
Right.
Guys, 2 minutes feels so long if you haven't practiced. So it's the same idea here. Like, don't waste time like counting your words, right? No, don't do that on test day. So have this model hanging on your wall. Know, like, according to your handwriting, where should the introduction end, right? Where should the paragraph 2 end? So you know what it should look like before test day. Okay. And then here, guys, also, as we said before, only write enough in your brainstorm for each body paragraph, both for task 1 and task 2. And that means while you write, here's the other side of that coin. While you write, don't let yourself add any ideas. And this, honestly, like this comes from lack of confidence, because as students are writing, they're like, oh, it's not good enough. Oh, that's not enough to convince the examiner. And so they're like adding ideas and adding more ideas. And that just gets out of control, guys. So like only allow yourself to put in what's in your brainstorm. Do not add anything else.
Yeah, I think it's really good what you pointed out, that you're not graded on having like the best possible idea for that topic. No, whatever reason you come up with is the best reason you come up, because that was the quickest one. And then what's key is that you support it with those strong supporting details and examples. That's what matters, is that you convince the examiner about your reason. There's no part of the examiner's brain space that's thinking, I could think of a better reason than this. No, they're looking at your reason, right? And they're like, did they support it well? Did they defend it with supporting details and examples? That's what you're scored on.
Yeah, guys, the only way you can get a 7 or higher for task and cohesion coherence, honestly, like it does tie in, but especially for task, guys, the only way you could get a 7 or higher is if you have one strongly supported idea, right? Like 3 or 4 sentences around one idea, right? Like if you, let's say you have a paragraph, both body paragraphs are like just 4 sentences each, which I know for some of you listening, you're like, that sounds really short. And in each body paragraph, again, it's just like one reason, detail, example, and that's it. That's all you have. And you finish, and maybe you only have about 250 words, and it looks kind of short. You know what, guys? That essay could still get a 7 or higher. Whereas something that's 300 words and has like all these random ideas couldn't get above a 6. So again, like it comes back to your priorities.
Yeah, exactly. And if you, like Jessica was saying, your priority should be to finish the essay. And then if you do find that you have time at the end, then you could go back and add one strong supporting detail for each body paragraph, right? Mm-hmm. Don't add another reason, but look at the reason you have. And okay, what's another strong detail that directly supports this? If you have time after you've checked your essay, after you've done, so much better than coming up with more details in the brainstorm than you need.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Because again, like also you need time for proofreading, right? If you're writing too much, you're not going to have time for proofreading. And guys, this last couple minutes of proofreading could raise your score by a whole band point. Like this is how we could get that like extra half band in vocabulary or grammar, because you're like fixing a few things, right? And so like how valuable is that 2 minutes if it like automatically increases your score? Way more valuable than spending like 10 extra minutes like writing more words that are wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, like after you proofread, like these are your priorities, right? All 3 sleek steps, like we say in 3 Keys IELTS. You plan it, you write it, you check it. If you have more time, guys, you can go back and like Aubrey said, okay, you have 2 options. You could add one more specific detail in each body paragraph, or you could even add a conclusion sentence in each body paragraph. Like that's also fine. And that's good for cohesion, coherence. It's not necessary to get a 7 or higher. That's why we don't do that right away. But if you have time, sure, go back and do that. Okay, so Aubrey, what if our listeners are thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, this online 3 Keys IELTS course sounds
what
like
I need.
This is what I have been asking the universe for.
Yes, seriously. And it is, you guys, like these progress surveys are so helpful to keep students on track, to make sure they're like moving along, first of all, following the study plan and just having a study plan. That's so key to know what you need to do every day, how much time you need to spend every day, have that laid out for you, take the guesswork out of it, right? And then be able to complete these progress surveys and receive receive feedback from us, questions you have, or if you're, if things are working for you, if you're able to apply the strategies, if you need a little assistance, right? To have that support is so key. So definitely, guys, get into 3 Keys IELTS, allearsenglish.com/keys. You immediately get to join our Facebook group, which is such a supportive community. So if you have been thinking about it and haven't jumped yet, do it today, right? Right after the podcast, allearsenglish.com/keys.
And just real fast, guys, I just want to tell you, lately I've been working a lot on just sort of examining all of our courses that we've created at All Ears English and making sure they are all as motivating and amazing as they could possibly be, adding little things here and there if I think it's necessary. And guys, what has come through to me as like a course creator, as a teacher, and a student of language is like, what are 2 things that we always have in our courses that are essential if you're going to do anything you want in English? Fun and community. Like these 2 aspects are part of all of our courses. Studying for IELTS shouldn't be totally boring, even though it definitely could be, shouldn't be, or you're not going to learn as much. Okay, allearsenglish.com/keys. Okay, I think that's good for today. Aubrey, thanks for chatting, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, see ya.
Bye.